Welcome to SVGTV News for Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The government is looking to offer land and lottery incentives to get more residents take the COVID-19 vaccine. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves made a disclosure while speaking on radio on Sunday. He also highlighted a new rule for taxi operators in light of the current COVID-19 environment, as well as the strengthening of the police ability to enforce the current COVID-19 protocols.
Land raffle for vaccinated persons, a parcel of land, and also another parcel for persons who will get vaccinated within a particular time period. We have accepted the idea of the vaccine lottery, and we have to work with the lotto authority here. So those are things which we do naturally. We have to do things like putting on a sticker or an emblem on taxis with a vaccinated driver, because the tourism people are asking for that. We are doing much stricter enforcement, as you note, of existing regulations, mandates and protocols, and there are some new ones which were published on Friday, strengthening the hands of the police in this matter.
Over 20,000 Vincentians have been vaccinated since the start of the national vaccination campaign on February 14, 2021. Across the Caribbean region and the world, governments are imploring similar incentives in a bid to encourage vaccination uptake in order to return to some form of normalcy as soon as possible. Farmers and fisherfolk who are willing to take the COVID-19 vaccine will be given the opportunity to get registered to do so on the days of the payments for the volcanic income support at the 12 different stations island-wide. Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar said that officials from the Ministry of Health will be present at the payment stations from Wednesday, June 23rd to Wednesday, June 30th to educate persons on the COVID-19 vaccines and also to register those who will be interested in getting vaccinated. He said as he looked at the vaccination rate in the country, it leaves a lot to be desired, and urged farmers, fisherfolk, and others to get vaccinated. The minister, however, made it clear that it is not a requirement that persons get vaccinated before getting their income support.
Clear that it is not a prerequisite to receive your income payment that you have to take the vaccine. I'm not saying that. You come, you collect your payment, but we have 10,000 persons who will have the opportunity firsthand, after you collect your monies, to go and speak to a nurse if you wish to. And it is our hope that you do. If you haven't yet taken the vaccine, you speak to a nurse, you ask the questions, because I know that many persons have many questions, and it is an excellent opportunity for 10,000 persons, a percentage of which, of course, already taken the vaccine, but for those who haven't, to get the information. And I am very confident.
Some 10,000 farmers and fisherfolk are registered to receive the volcanic income support from different stations starting tomorrow. And the Agriculture Minister said he is confident that with the information persons will receive on the vaccine at the payment stations, there will be a massive registration for those willing to get vaccinated.
A massive registration of farmers and fishers in our country to be vaccinated. I have great confidence in our farmers and our fishers that we have an excellent appreciation of the issues, and primarily as stakeholders in the productive sectors, we understand and appreciate the fact that the longer COVID-19, the longer it lingers on, it is going to create major upsets for the economy, not only locally, not only in the OECS and in CARICOM, but globally. And as responsible participants, I express great confidence that we are going to see a large percentage of our farmers and our fishers register during this period to be vaccinated.
Minister Cesar said the payments will be done orderly and is encouraging persons to follow the COVID-19 protocols and wear a face mask.
The locations to collect the payments, that persons do it in an orderly manner and fashion, because there will be the need for persons to move from their location of residence to where the payments are being made. The van drivers, I'm asking you to conduct yourself accordingly, make sure that the numbers in the vans, the persons who are there to receive their payments, I spoke to the permanent secretary already, and we're going to arrange for the entire staff of the entire extension staff to be there to assist with the wearing of the face mask, the physical distancing that is needed, the sanitizing of the hands. We have the product available so that when you get there, we will be doing it in an orderly manner.
One new COVID-19 positive case was reported from 73 samples processed on Sunday, June 20th, 2021, resulting in a positivity rate of 1.4%. One new recovery was noted over the reporting period. 248 cases are currently active and 12 persons with COVID-19 have died. 2,196 cases of COVID-19 and 1,936 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since March 2020. The National Emergency Management Organization said persons who persist in incorrect or no mask use, remain unvaccinated and participate in mass gatherings will continue to be at risk for being infected and spreading COVID-19, as is happening now. The public is therefore urged to continue to use masks, sanitize, physically distance, and get vaccinated to reduce the spread of COVID-19 here in SVG. It could have been any one of us. That's the view of protesters on the picket line today in front of the Parliament building in capital Kingston. The citizens continue to call for justice in the shooting of Cornelius John, who was reportedly shot in his foot at his home in Diamond over 2 months ago, with no charges laid against the perpetrator or perpetrators. The shooting incident allegedly involves Government Senator and Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, Ashel Morgan, Assistant Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Kareem Nelson, and a third unidentified person. Among those on the picket line today were Opposition Member of Parliament for East Kingston, Fitzgerald Bramble, President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, members of the group Rise Hiruna, which organized the protest, and other concerned citizens.
People are fed up, people are hurting. The very people who elected us to represent them, they are hurting. People are hurting. I hear it and I see it every single day. People call me, they come to my house, they come to my office. And I did not sign up to represent people to sit and be quiet. And I will fight to the very end for the people of East Kingston and for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, even if it costs me my life.
Me, personally, as an individual, we have to be our brother's keepers. Today, it may be Mr. John, as the case is. Tomorrow, maybe somebody else.
You can't get justice. And as long as you can't bring the perpetrators them to justice who shoot Mr. John inside the foot, I will be in the front standing all the time.
I want to return to a country where the law is applied equally to every individual. And what I'm seeing here is an attempt at a cover-up.
With anything. It don't work so in this country. Everybody is poor people.
Time for we Vincent to stand up for our rights in this country.
When you break law, that's crime. It's a criminal offense.
There were those who had other issues that they feel warrant justice as well. A resident of Georgetown said for him, it is the personal impact of the volcano eruption.
Well, a lot of things brought me out here. Because when I look at it, I'm from Georgetown, from the red zone. And since I came from the red zone, they tell me put down my name for something to eat. I'm hungry. And there is not a day that they bring a grain of rice and give me. The house up there, the house is running like a river. So It's no sense I go back in the house. Right now. I not get no help.
You say your house is running like a river.
Like a river right now.
You want to explain that what's happening really?
The house roof, since the software, it punch it up and the water running in the house. So that's it. I had to left there one time because the software.
Parliament. I am here to lend a voice to the poor in St. Vincent, and it is time enough for change in this country.
Justice, and until we do not get justice, we will be here. We will be picketing. We will be voicing our opposition towards what is happening in St. Vincent. As a matter of fact, there are so many issues.
Opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday was also joined the protesters on the picket line.
The administration of justice, that there are some countries where people have to put on uniforms and go all over the world and defend those principles. We are not called upon to do that as citizens, but we are called upon to at least come out and stand on the sidewalk here and say in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I will stand up for democracy too. I will stand up for the rule of law as well. I will stand up for justice. If we don't do that, then we are reneging on our responsibility as citizens. And for me, I would be here today whether I was leader of the opposition or as an ordinary citizen.
The man at the center of the controversy, Cornelius John, was on the sideline of the protest action today. John, who is now using crutches, told our news team he has been feeling a lot of pain with bullet fragments still lodged in his left leg.
Have damaged blood vessels and the tissues inside damaged, and it have multiple fragments of bullets inside. And 2 weeks ago I went to take out 2 pieces. They take out 2 pieces, 2 big pieces, but they have much more inside, and the doctor said they are very deep, so they're not going to interfere with them now because they probably will damage the tissues, more blood veins. So then at times it feels like a lot of sticking pain inside of it. And if I stay too long on it, right now it starts to swell. So if I stay too long on it, it will swell up big and puff up. See, it still swell right now. All this day, and this is where the bullet went in, break the bone, so it's not properly healed, so it will swell during the course of the day.
John said it has been a struggle ever since the shooting incident on April 13th, but he is pushing through his pain.
All the time, and the other one tired by hopping around and that. Sometimes they get tired, very tired with everything. You have to deal with the pain, you have to deal with the talks, you have to deal with the injustice. You know, nobody. And then you have to struggle to make a living on your own. So it's very complicated and hard.
According to John, he has a clear conscience and thanks citizens who are taking a stand against what he calls injustice.
What happened to one in the nation and the other don't feel the pain, then it will come like we become a people with no feelings, no love for one another, no appreciation. So I'm glad to see people supporting and really calling for to get what is right done. I feel good about it. And I'm praying and hoping that what is right will be done and pleasing. Because sometimes we could do things, we could dart around with man, and we could feel that we get away. But ultimately, after we done deal with man, God, the Almighty Creator who create man, stays in the heaven and he look down. And then he is the final judge who could destroy both body and soul. You know? So if we think, sometimes we might think we get away with man, but with God we are guilty when we are guilty.
So you know you have a clear conscience in all of this?
Yes, I'm clear. Whatever I said is the truth and nothing else but the truth. There's nothing else to add to it, nothing to take away. That's just the truth.
In other news, over 20,000 food packages have been distributed so far to families in private shelters who have been displaced as a result of the explosive eruptions of La Soufrière volcano. The Agency for Public Information said in a report to the meeting of the National Emergency Council on Monday, June 21st, 2021. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Mobilization, Catherine De Freitas, said that so far 20,530 food packages have been distributed to displaced families in private shelters. Some 2,274 persons are also receiving cash transfers from the World Food Program, with just under 1,800 collected so far. According to the Ministry of National Mobilization, food assistance and cash transfers will continue over the next few months, with some 2,000 food packages being currently distributed weekly. The ministry is also delivering food to persons in the red and orange zones daily. Meantime, the API said the Roads, Buildings and General Services Authority, BRAXA, is making tremendous strides in cleaning up affected communities to facilitate the return of persons, particularly in the orange zone. According to the API, BRAXA's CEO has indicated that the company has carried out extensive cleaning in Chateaubriand and should complete the exercise in the area by the end of this week. It was also noted that by the end of the week, cleaning in Fitzhugh should also be completed, while Georgetown, Dixon and Lanley Park continues to be clean. BRAXA has also begun work on cleaning the areas north of the Rabaca Dry River. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has announced that Vincentian students will be the recipients of some 50 undergraduate and 15 postgraduate scholarships to the University of Wales. The Prime Minister, speaking on a radio on Sunday, detailed that the scholarships will not only cover tuition, but will also include transportation, accommodation and living expenses.
We are getting, as from October, 40 undergraduate scholarships, 3-year scholarships at the University in Wales. It's called University of Wales Trinity St. David. It's a very good university, and 40 3-year scholarships. And we are going to do 15 postgraduate scholarships, so different kinds of qualification, including masters and postgraduate diplomas and certificates and the like in different subject areas, as they link and connect to our National Economic and Social Development Plan 2013 to 2050-25, which plan we'll have to update very shortly.
The Prime Minister also discussed who will be eligible to receive the scholarships and the value of the scholarship package from the University of Wales.
These scholarships should be available for students who graduate with their CAPE and their associate degrees. Different ones would have the different entities. I got the letter on Friday afternoon and I sent it off Friday late, and I had it sent off to every cabinet member, but also to the relevant ministries, including the Cabinet Office of the Cabinet Secretary and the Chief Personnel Officer, who deals with these matters, and the details would be worked out in terms of advertising and so on when they're worked out with the university to cover scholarship. It amounts to about £1.5 million, this particular sum.
The Prime Minister also shared that he is champion in a program that will see students benefiting from funds that will be used to create an account at one of the 4 major credit unions here. PM Gonsalves disclosed that he will be leading the way by dedicating a portion of his personal funds to the credit union accounts of students, including first-timers created under the initiative and existing student accounts.
Estimate that we have about 4,300, 4,500 students who are going to do CPEA this year, CSEC, and CAPE associate degrees. And I think from North Central, we probably would have a number in the region of maybe 300, but I am prepared to spend out of my own resources about $20,000. Make a further contribution to each of those categories of students to get them into credit unions. Some students are already in credit unions. Some of them are in school credit unions, and especially the primary schools where they are stronger, Pigeon, as you would know. and they usually transfer when they go to secondary school into other credit unions, many of them. I want to encourage thrift, and I want to encourage that I put them in, I put a little something in each of the book when they start. And those who have already, I put that particular sum there.
The Prime Minister said conversations have already been initiated with the credit unions, noting that while the plan was initially to service students in his constituency and those in the North Leeward and North Windward areas, he is looking at the possibility of including all students across the island. The Prime Minister said various sources have also been engaged to fund the initiative.
I want to raise money for North Windward and North Leeward for the students, mainly affected, but I'm hoping that I can get it rolled out for all the students. Now, we have to have faith in our God and our country. And one of the ways to make people feel they have a stake from the time they're young, in addition to the education, that they themselves are in a credit union. It's not the first time that I've paid for dozens of students their credit union book, to start them first. I might discuss this matter with Lennox Bowman, whose advice thing, and I intend to meet with the rest of the four main credit unions, the KCCU, GECU, teachers, and the police welfare. In fact, I'm associated with 3 of them personally. And I'll meet the presidents sometime this week if they have time, maybe on Friday. But I put the idea out. I'm going to try and get state entities to contribute into other areas to help with this program now. And the private sector and people overseas.
The Prime Minister noted that students will also face no restrictions when accessing their accounts and will have the ability to utilize the funds available at their own convenience.
Persons may say, well, you should put a thing that they don't draw out whatever you put in. No. Leave that to people's individual judgment, because the facts are that I understand that over 90% of the students don't draw out any money out of the credit union book. Leave it now and let it build up now until they reach maturity. When they go in university, they may need a little something else, and start to encourage them when they do any work, or anybody give them anything for their birthday or anything of the sort. Their parent might give them a $5 every month to put inside of the book, whatever. One does full bowly, and we begin to do these things.
And Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and Minister of Foreign Affairs welcomed the new British High Commissioner to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, His Excellency Scott Forreston Wood, to Cabinet Room on Monday, June 21st, 2021. His Excellency, who is on a two-day visit to the state, paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Gonsalves to present his letter of introduction, following which he is expected to pay a courtesy call on Governor General Her Excellency Dame Susan Duggan. In welcoming the new High Commissioner, PM Gonsalves took the opportunity to thank the government of the United Kingdom for its direct assistance to SVG in the aftermath of La Soufrière volcano eruption, as well as other areas of support, including the construction of the new port in Kingstown. In his response, His Excellency conveyed greetings to Prime Minister Gonsalves and stated the commitment of the United Kingdom to continue working with SVG on areas of mutual interest. He indicated that part of his itinerary include visit to a number of areas in the Orange Zone impacted by the volcano eruption, as well as the port project. He pledged to do his best to advance the work of the UK in the region and to strengthen the relationship between both countries. The High Commissioner brings to the post significant experience in Foreign and Commonwealth Office of the United Kingdom and serving as the Deputy Private Secretary to the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall before taking up his current post.